let's see if I can get to the cabin without getting stuck. I brought the snowblower with, and I was really hoping I wasn't going to have to use it, which I think I am going to have to use it clearly, but I was mostly afraid of being able to even get off the road to get down the driveway. Luckily, I'm able to do that. Whoa. I'm probably pushing it. Nice. Well, at least I got in here. Well, first things first, I'm gonna get in the cabin, get the fire going so it warms up in there. I suppose I better blow some snow and clear this area out. Sun's shining today. You can hear the birds. Kind of windy though. Whew. It's cold in here. Got a lot of work to do. Kind of forgot how I left this place last time I left. Huh. Well, we better get that fire going. Probably should have some smaller kindling, but I got what I got for now. Like I said, I wish I would have split some smaller kindling pieces, but well, it's about 10 degrees Fahrenheit in here, so it is a little chilly. I think it's probably warmer outside than it is in here. Probably wouldn't hurt to leave the door open a little bit. Well, unfortunately, I was just going to blow out a path to the wood pile because I need to bring some wood in for the stove. And I needed to blow out a path to the outhouse so I can throw the ashes down the thing. And I broke my shear pin. So the shear pin is basically doing what this bolt does, and this is not a shear pin, this is a bolt. I know everybody's going to comment and say, don't do that, it's a safety mechanism. Yeah. You do what you got to do sometimes. Anyway. But of course I don't have any shear pins with me. Oh, is that froze? Oh. There we go. So we are going to have to put an emergency shear pin in. That's the problem with being out here in the woods. You're constantly hitting sticks and rocks and stuff that you can't see that it's buried in the snow. It's not like a tar or gravel driveway. You're basically blowing snow through a path in the woods half the time. Alright, well I gotta find that hole and then I gotta find something to put in it. Alright, so I found the hole on there. It's right through that tube. Now the problem is this nail that I have isn't big enough. Yeah, it's big enough to not go through the tube, but it's not big enough to hold the space on that thing. So what we need to do is we need to bend this nail over. So, talk about jerry rig, huh? But when you don't have a store 5 miles away, you got to do what you got to do. Now the only problem is if this falls out, it could end up in my tire, so I got to be careful with that. So this isn't a long-term fix. It's just enough to get me through the project of getting done what I need to do. All right, emergency shear pin. That should work. Hopefully that nail's strong enough. There's a little bit of slack in there, so it probably won't last real long, but we'll give it a shot. Some wood in for the fire. Most of this on this side is wet. Good way to tell if your wood is dry is to see the cracks in it, the check marks. That tells me that the wood is probably dry enough to burn. So I'll try to find some of these pieces. I'm going to dump the ashes from the fire pit, or from the wood stove. And I thought, you know, maybe I'll dump them in the outhouse just to get some. Oh boy, is that frozen? Yeah, that's frozen. Get some other material down there. And these were ashes that were in the bucket from the last time I was up, so don't worry, they're not hot. Not going to burn the outhouse down. Well, I'll survive the winter anyway, that's a good sign. Good sight. I think I might have to get some of that snow off the roof. Would be a good idea. Thought it would slide down, but hasn't yet. Chee-dee-dee-dee-dee. And I decided that it was time to put the hammer down and pick up the fishing pole. I've been promising you guys for probably 6 videos that we're going to go fishing. Well, the weather has finally warmed up. It's been below 0 for the last 11 days straight. It hasn't gotten above 0 Fahrenheit. In the morning, it's been somewhere between 25 and 35 below 0 Fahrenheit. So for the last couple weeks, I've just been kind of laying low, doing, you know, going to work, making some dollars, and, you know, doing home chores, things like that. But it's supposed to warm up this weekend. It's supposed to be almost 30 degrees in the next couple days. So I thought now would be a good time to get the fishing stuff out and see if we can catch some perch. So let's see what we can find. Don't know if it's going to catch any fish, but that's what I'm using. With the tungsten, that jig is tungsten. Marking anything yet. Well, I think we'll give it a couple minutes and then we're gonna drill a few more holes. We have to go out a little deeper. Well, it's not so bad out of the wind, but the wind was pretty strong, so that and I got 2 fish right off the bat, and then they shut off right away. So, and it was too cold to mess around with retying a bunch of lures. So nice to see the sun though. It's been so cloudy and cold and been trapped in the house for so long. Well, there's the one I caught. The other one got off at the hole. It's not huge, but it's an eater up here. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Well, thank you guys for coming along fishing. There wasn't a lot of catching, but oh well, we got out on the ice, we got one. It'll cook up nice for dinner tonight. It's just nice to be out. It's just, and it's gotta be 15 degrees out. It just feels beautiful when you're not in the wind. Got some wolf tracks on the road, some deer, grouse. It's good to be in the woods. I went to pull the game cards out of the cameras, and I had forgotten that I had pulled all of the cards when I left the last time I was up. So there were no game cards in the cameras, unfortunately. In fact, maybe I'll put them out tonight if I get a chance. And then I want to download some of the video that I took today of fishing and whatnot, kind of go through that. And then I think as far as for projects for tonight, it's already 6:30. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I don't really want to get too involved in here yet, but we'll see. If I get bored, I probably will end up doing that. Morning. Stayed almost 60 degrees in the cabin last night. I think I had to stoke the fire maybe 3 times last night. But it was much warmer than staying in the van. So I think I'll be sleeping in here from now on. So it's kind of nice to actually be in the cabin. It was nice to be able to get dressed and stand up and not be hunched over in the van like I normally am. So a couple projects for today. I got this moisture meter, and one of my big fears is that the wood in the cabin is still damp from the sawmill. And so I'm going to test it to see how much moisture is left in it. And if the rafters are dry, then I'm going to continue to put up the tongue and groove on the ceiling. I want to try to get some snow off the roof. I want to finish the soffit vents. So we got a few things right off the bat to get done, and so I'm going to get going. And I came home. Oh, come on! Oh, come on, people! Ah! Ah! I hate this part. I hate this part. All right, take a breath. Take a breath. You ain't dying. You ain't dying. You got all day. You got all day. If you don't want to, you ain't even got to put this board up today. Take a breath. All right. Let's do tongue and groove, they said. It'll be fun, they said. It'll look nice, they said. They lied. Should have done paneling. Well, I haven't really been taking you guys along much this morning, but I've just put a couple more boards up on the ceiling. I really wasn't going to do this trip because I think I'm going to have a buddy coming up with me in the next couple weeks. But it was snowing outside and it was getting all my tools full of snow and wet, so I just opted to work inside here for a little bit. But little by little, the shed is starting to turn into a cabin. Last night, as I said, I slept in here, and that really made it feel more homey. And today, for the first time, I'm doing a little bit of cooking on the stove. I just toasted up some homemade bread, and where's my oven mitt? And I've got some leftover, and I've got some leftover pork chops and sauerkraut cooking away on the stove. So it's kind of nice because lunch has been cooking while I've been working, and it looks like it's finally stopped snowing now. So probably just going to do a few more boards and then we'll move outside. And, you know, I might even go fishing yet today, depending on what the weather looks like. So anyway, we'll catch you guys in a little bit. Well, I ran out of boards, but I got almost half of the ceiling done. So still working on that, but like I said, I ran out of boards, so I'll have to do it next time. But I'm gonna head home. It's getting late. I was only up here for one night, but hopefully next weekend I'll be back. And maybe have my buddy Scott with, and hopefully we can knock out maybe the rest of the ceiling if I can get boards by then and get them stained. If not, we'll probably just have fun, go fishing or something. So all right, well, I think I've got everything packed up. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.